So folks, we just have those tickets out here. Give them a bit of a wave as we pass through the entry gate here into the National Park. Ayers Rock takes its name from Sir Henry Ayers, who was at one time the Premier of South Australia. Now there's 6 significant sacred sites around the rock. For a start, this cave you can see off here to the right hand side. You should not photograph that cave, folks. Live trees, all these bloodwood trees growing, and it's around about 80 metres. The height of that waterfall there, you can see the line of lichen flowing down the side of the rock from when we do get rain here and the waterfall flows. And that little area down in there is known as Catchu Gorge, the quiet place, an area for thought and composure, an area to be respected. The next cave around, and then this whole area we're about to drive past now, is all designated as a men's sacred area. This is where the ceremonies to bring the young boys into manhood would have taken place, in this area here. And at that time there would have been many chiringas in the area. Chiringas are sacred objects that were passed down from the Chukaba to the people and passed down through the generations. Now when the first ceremonies were held here, the Dreamtime story goes that the men climbed to the top of the rock and erected a sacred pole, a totem pole, if you like. This formation here, sometimes in European terms called the digging stick or the kangaroo tail, represents that totem. And this area here is where the initiation ceremonies would have taken place. These initiation ceremonies sometimes went on to anywhere up to a year. The young boys and girls were usually taken by an aunt or an uncle at an age of anywhere between 14 and 16, depending on their maturity and what the elders of the tribe thought of them. And then they were taken out into the desert and were start to be taught the ways of being an adult, learning the stories, learning the ways they should act. These paintings, or two modern ways, they take great big machines that are in universities around the world, and the two people who actually run those two machines both argue with one another that one guy's right and the other guy's wrong. My machine works and yours doesn't, and the other guy says, no, my machine's right and your machine's wrong. Best way to find out how old a rock art site is by digging down into an area such as this, because this is what would have been a home at one time, an occupation cave, as commonly known as. So we dig down to try and find old fires that we can carbon date, try and find old bones, old spear tips, etc., etc. So we can then carbon date. That gives us a rough age of how long the people have been here for. Mungo in New South Wales, carbon date is about 38,095 years old. Right then, some of the, again, was much slower. It would have been quite easy for them to cross it over from the area today known as Asia. Very primitive. Joss called it. This is the most permanent water hole around the rock. Around about 30% of the water that falls here from rain ends up in this hole, and you can see the level that the water actually gets up to and where it runs down here. This is the home of the one like this. If I put my hands in that water now, what have I done? Yes, I've contaminated, I've left my scent in it. That means that the animals won't come down here to drink because they can smell human in the water. What I would do is I would dig a hole back here. And as you can see, as I dig, it's very moist. Eventually, if I dug, the water would come through, filter through, so any impurities in the water would be taken out, and I wouldn't leave my scent in the water. And that way I wouldn't disturb the nature of things, and I'd be able to get myself a drink. Unlike what all the signs around the ranger stations and that say today and around the resort, the Aboriginal people would have one big drink in the morning and then one big drink in the afternoon. They wouldn't have a litre every hour like we do. We're supposed to do. So grab some photos, start to wander back to the coast.